Hi, I'm Jeff from Strike Farm, and this video is to help you out. This is a video for the beginning person who's starting to look for some land to be that small homestead farmer. None of it's meant as a way to turn you off or take you away from your dream. It's all meant about just giving you a little heads up if you haven't figured this stuff up already. When you go look for your property out in the country, big or little or in between, realize that the people that are there already are living their lives. You will notice a certain amount of pushback from people in the area. It's not that they're unfriendly, it's that they've been there their whole lives, and they have had episodes of people coming in, being demanding, being bad neighbors or whatever. The farms that the normal people, everyday people moving from towns to the country can get are typically little 5-10 acre places where the land around the yard basically has been sold off to the farmers to farm on a grand scale. These are big operations with multi-$100,000 tractors and everything, and they're grain farmers or they're hay farmers or whatever they are. Everyone has their own endeavor all over the country. Their mission is basically to feed the world, and that's what they're all about. And they do it, and they do it very well. What you're looking to do is you're looking to buy that little 5, 10, 15, 20 acres, whatever it is, and it used to be part of the big farm. Now, sometimes these big farmers just don't care that Joe the peasant is living in this little farm, and that's all well and good. But let's talk about what a good neighbor is. A lot of times they will buy those farmsteads and they will level them because they don't want neighbors. And why is that? Because neighbors tend to get in their business. You might have all the good intentions in the world, but in the end, you're doing something or acting in such a way that constitutes not being a good neighbor. And that is, what is a good neighbor? A good neighbor typically is somebody that minds their own business and can be there when you need them. Maybe that farmer really actually needs you. You're going to be living there all year round doing your thing, and maybe he wants to go to Texas for the winter. Maybe this, maybe that, who cares? A good neighbor is a friend when you need it and out of your business, basically. That's not to be unfriendly. It just is what it is. That is why there's the pushback of local businesses. I've got a couple farmers around, and I'm surrounded by one guy's fields, and every year is corn or beans or whatever, and he's out there and his guys are out there doing their job, and that's all well and good. I've got another guy next door who runs another business where there's lots of manure that gets put on the fields. It's part of living on a farm. It is what it is. Manure makes the grass green, you know. Rain and sunshine makes everything else happen for these guys. Realize what they're doing. It's different than but you can work together and you can have a really good relationship going on. They're there when you need them, and they're not there when you don't. That's the mark of a good neighbor. All right, buy-in and workload. If this is something you haven't figured out already, I have a little less than a 5-acre farm, and I've already come to the conclusion, and I was told this by my old farming buddies, there is enough work on the farm that even on a 5-acre place, if you simply look around and say what needs to be done, you could work a 10 or 12 hour day, 5 or 6 days a week, all year long on a 5-acre place. Oh, sure, in the big scheme of things, when the fencing gets done, great. You shouldn't have to do anything but maintenance after that. When this building gets fixed, great. You shouldn't have to do anything but maintenance. But getting it there is the part. I don't want to scare you away from farming, but just understand, on a little scale or a big scale, it's a full-time job, and your buy-in is what makes it. The next is, when you're out looking for your farms, you might have this pristine, wonderful idea of what a farm is supposed to be. And you'll see these little places and you'll say, oh, how junky, how terrible. Oh, wait a second. There's two types of farms. One farm is a grain farm, and you will see them, and you will see big buildings for machinery, and you will see grain bins, and you will see very pretty yards. Why? It's because grain farmers don't have the day-to-day problems of stock farmers, animals. Animals, you don't buy an animal, you marry it. You get an animal, nothing takes care of itself. There's no taking a day off from animals. Okay? So, when you see a grain farm, they have a little more time in the off planting or harvesting season to do the stuff of making the yard look nice, making sure the grass is good, making sure the piles of junk are hauled away, and all this other stuff. Making sure the buildings aren't falling down, all this other stuff that's day to day. And you might run across this little crappy looking hillbilly junk this, junk that, but they're running animals. They're running their whole day, running themselves ragged because they've got animals. And it's just the way it is. Some animals are more work than others. We'll get into that later. But just realize there's grain farmers and there's animal farmers. And here's the little dirty little secret. If you're going to buy a little 5 or 10 acre place, you don't have room to plant much. Chances are you're looking at getting some critters to feed your family, maybe to make a little buck on the side. Guess what? You married them. If you're going to get any animal that produces milk, oh, guess what? It just got worse. Be for real about what you're doing. Understand this is what you do. You can get a place out in the country and you can have no stock and you can just have this nice little pristine yard and a garden and life is good. Life is always better in the country. It just is. Just realize when you're out there looking for those farms, the ones that you see on the market that are cleaned up, they're going to cost more. The little farm places, little 5 or 10 acre farm places you'll find that got a lot of crap hanging around, well, depending on what your goals and desires, those piles of junk might save you. There might be the tools you need in those piles of junk to do what you want. Old farms have old farm equipment, and small farmers, they need a sickle mower, they need a rake, they need an old baler, they need a loader for the tractor, they need a tractor. I have a yard in the country, which means I have all the problems of a farm without the profitability. So that's the bottom line to this. Have fun farming. This is Jeff from Shrike Farms. Just understand a little bit before you go, before you jump in. This is what you're going to run across. Have fun farming. Live your life. Be good. Have a great day.